You don't need four letters to tell you who the future will be. You just need one place. Arena Sportsnet, bringing the spotlight back to the student athlete. Yes, that just happened.
This is the King's Court on Arena Sportsnet, presented by American Grappler.
I got more swagger than Mick Jagger. More sex appeal than Vince Neil.
All guests from all walks of life share their time with the King of Connecticut.
They are dreaming of just one night with a man such as myself.
Any and everything goes.
I am the King of Connecticut. I was raised with class and sophistication.
And now, from Norwalk, Connecticut, weighing in at 230 pounds. If George Clooney had muscles, they'd call him the King of Connecticut. The one, the only, Matt Granahan.
Lots of pretty girls coming by the dozen. The white sand sure make a town look nice. We crash on the beach. You know I wanna make love in the sea.
It is the pernicious purveyor of preposterous pomposity, manipulating the minuscule minds of the masses of miscreants. I am your host, the King of Connecticut, Matt Granahan, and before I introduce our next guest, and I'm very excited to have him on the program on the King's Court, before I welcome him, I want to explain how I met this gentleman back about 3 years ago. I was invited by Andrew Stokes to a barbecue out at Marina Bay, the Marina Bay pool here on Lake Murray in Valentine, South Carolina. And I knew Andrew previously. He was involved in the first few MMA shows in South Carolina when MMA was legalized here. Matter of fact, I had 3 fighters that were on my fight team for the first show, and I was one of the few guys at that time that had competed in any professional MMA. You know, granted at a fairly low level, but I was one of the guys that was bringing MMA to South Carolina and instrumental with Andrew Stokes in getting it legalized here. Because at that time it was illegal. This goes back to like 2008. So I knew Andrew fairly well. So flashback 3 years ago, we're at Marina Bay. I didn't know why he invited me to this gathering, but he announced at that event, at that party, at the pool on the lake, that he was opening up a new facility called Main Event Fitness Center. And it was going to be the largest MMA gym in the Carolinas. And it is absolutely the largest in the Carolinas. They have 2 cages, they have a ring, they have a massive wrestling room. And Andrew was approaching me and introducing me to his partner, Nisi, who I've developed a great friendship with. She's actually going to be a guest on the show within the coming weeks, about being his head of marketing and running his grappling and submission wrestling program. So also at the party was Steve Volponi, 2-time state champion here in South Carolina in wrestling. Standout wrestler at Anderson College, a young man that I had cornered in a couple of MMA fights. And Steve and I agreed to become the head coaches of Main Event Fitness and also to provide the marketing for the introduction of Main Event Fitness. And through John Shattuck, who runs a school called Shattuck MMA up in Maryland, where I've done some wrestling clinics over the past several years, I was introduced to my next guest, and he is one hell of a guest. This man is the president and CEO of Global Proving Ground, which also runs the Warrior Island MMA reality show. May I introduce to you James Jefferson. James, how you doing tonight? Well, we're getting ready to open our new Coliseum Fight Club and have a fight this Saturday. So, other than that, exhausted. Awesome. Well, you were a busy man, and you've been in the game for a long time. I'm going to give you the floor to talk about yourself, to talk about Global Proving Ground. Well, Global Proving Ground really isn't about me. It's about the fighters and the fans. About 5 years ago, I sat down. I was very lucky to sit down with Ron Van Cleef, the Black Dragon, Hensel Gracie, Helton Gracie, Dan Severin, and a few of other of the key people that were involved in the original UFC in 1993, and actually as far back as 92, and discuss in a roundtable what they did not like about the sport, where it was going, what they would like to see happen. And during that conversation, we went everywhere from, bringing back the honor and the respect and the true spirit of martial arts to MMA would be important. Also to teach fighters how to run their careers from a professional, whether they are an amateur or professional, but to teach them how to build a fan base. And then also to, create a reality show that would kind of combine shows that have been successful in the past, Survivor and movies like Bloodsport, and, bring back a traditional martial arts. Because who doesn't like to sit on a Saturday afternoon and put on one of those martial arts movies where the words don't match the mouth movement or whatever. But, people love those traditional martial arts. So that's where, mixed martial arts came from. And, the people I was with really loved the idea. So we sat around. The first thing we did was Ron Van Cleef wrote a code of conduct. And that code of conduct is for the fighters while training, fighting, or even just during their daily life, of how they should live their lifestyle and how they should represent themselves, their coaches, their families, and the sport. And that's something that even this weekend we had a huge fight in New Jersey. They're opening up the new Coliseum Fight Club. That each one of these fighters has to sign this code of conduct. All of our fighters have done that. And when we created this idea of a league, we wanted to build a grassroots league with being humble, not thinking that we're going to become the next UFC, Bellator, or what have you, but basically a grassroots league that would help fighters, as I mentioned earlier, develop a career. The Global Proving Ground started to reach around the world and look for other promoters to work with. So instead of trying to reinvent the wheel, we wanted to look for other promotions and infuse some 30 years of experience in MMA, and over 70 years, 60 years, some of the people I mentioned earlier, like Ron Van Cleef and Helton Gracie, all those years in martial arts. So we decided when we were going to have our first show, what better place than it would be Missouri, which would be the show me state. So we're going to show the world what we're going to do. And we had our first show back in November of 2012, and it was a sold-out show in Branson, Missouri. Went really well. Had some Bellator events and some up-and-coming fighters from there. So, we fast forward to this weekend where we have our 24th show in less than, 4 years. We have 24 shows, and we've had 3 in London, 3 in Portugal. We've had 3 in Virginia, 2 in Missouri, 11 here in New Jersey. I'm trying to think where else we've had them. We've had them all, 3 in Arkansas. We're not trying to compete with anybody. We're just trying to give fighters a great place to fight. We rewind a little bit back to the Warrior Island concept. If anyone out there has ever tried to get a network television show or movie together, it's a project that takes, many, many years and a lot of money. We've already invested well over $1 million into the project. We have the script, we have the staff, we have fighters voted on, we have the location, we have trademark and copyright, everything's in place. And our director, producer Ben Curry, and producer Steve Schwabini are out in Hollywood still pitching it. We're trying to get the first person to write the $5-6 million check to get rolling, and that series will get built. In the meantime, we have produced our first Warrior Island comic book. We have almost done our second Warrior Island comic book, and we have 64 branded Warrior Island products that were launched along with Global Proving Ground products at Comic-Con last year that sold out. So the brand is growing. It's kind of in the background. And when it hits the ground, it's hit the ground running. And you were lucky enough with all the fighters down there to be part of it. And, anyone that was there along the way, we're not going to forget them. They'll be part of the project at some point, whether they're an extra on the show or part of the show. Everyone that's helped along the way will be part of it. So now we're going into our 25th show, which all of our shows air to 16 million homes on Comcast, Sportsnet, Root Sports, Cup TV, as well as a few other stations. And we're very excited. I mean, I'd love to answer some questions. We have this weekend. We have some amazing title fights. We have UFC vet Sean Burrell fighting against Ultimate Fighters Dustin Long, and we have a couple rising stars in the 115 weight class with Desmond M80 Moore out of American Top Team and Albert Tapia out of Texas. That'll be an amazing fight. So I'd love to answer some questions. We're continuing to grow. We're in our, basically going into our 5th year, and we're very excited about what we're doing. And like I said, we're opening up a combat-only arena at Palm Beach Coliseum Fight Club this Saturday.
Yeah, that's awesome, Jason. Just to rewind back, and you touched upon this, when we launched the main event gym in South Carolina, in the largest square foot gym in the Carolinas, we hosted a casting call for Warrior Island. We were able to get some great fighters on that show. We were able to get Tim Matera Goodwin, who's fought in Bellator, Solon Staley, who's been one of the mainstay main eventers here in the Carolinas for Conflict MMA, and a number of other promotions. Jeremy Joles, who really pushed Josh Thompson, the Wonder Boy, in their fight. And Josh Thompson, of course, recently defeated Johnny Hendricks in a huge dominant win in the UFC and one of their top contenders. So we were really able to get together some of the top fighters in the Southeast to be on that casting call. And I would encourage everyone to check out Warrior Island. You can see on YouTube some of the stuff that we've done and some of the other folks that have tried out, because that show absolutely will air at some point in the future. But you're aside from that, you're based in the D.C. area, James?
Actually, it's in North, right in South Jersey, outside of Philadelphia.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, because I'll ask you if you know this promotion. I've done some commentary work and post-fight interview work at the Eagle Bank Arena for a promotion called Strikeoff Fighting Championships up in Northern Virginia. We were on Go Fight Live. Got to work with their team, and that was a great experience. Got to do a couple shows with them. And you guys, as I understand it, and correct me if I'm wrong, but you bring in the production crew and the team a lot of times on existing shows. So, for example, if I was a promoter and I was running a show there at Eagle Bank, you would book the fights or the fighters for a few main events, and in exchange, you'd also bring in the broadcasting team.
Each franchise or licensing deal is unique. It depends on the size of the promotion, depends on the budgeting, where it's going to be. An example is, when we did the 5-on, I don't know if you saw when we produced the 5-on-5 fighting in Free Galactic, which is a team fighting. That was one of our concepts that we worked on.
The TFC, yeah.
Yeah, that was that team fighting championship was a $500,000 budget. Most regional promoters don't have that kind of budget. But when we went out to Missouri, that was a much smaller budget. So we helped Tommy Tran and Branson and Springfield by doing exactly what you said. We brought in some higher level fighters. We paid the fighters. We brought in some television production, and for that we had a joint licensing agreement to promote and produce the television. So we want to help the promoters. We want to help the fighters. We want to entertain the fans, and we want to do it in a way that is feasible. One of the things that we've noticed is I must have talked to 200 promoters in the last 4 or 5 years. Most of them are pretty delusional. They think they're going to be the next UFC or Bellator, and they don't realize that right now the UFC is valued at $2.7 billion. They've already got absolutely nowhere. The only thing that could possibly happen, and you probably hear it first from me just because I'm from the television background, it's very plausible that Bellator would buy the UFC because they're owned by Viacom, which is a much larger media company than Fox. Viacom could buy the UFC and not even worry about their money. That's the only play I see happening. The days where the UFC buys up other promotions is probably much over. I think that's what the feeders are probably getting a little bored or just fed up with some of the crap. They don't need money. From the beginning, when it was 9% would probably stay on. I just think that's probably the play in the next couple of years. I see Viacom either buying the UFC and keeping some of its structure and then just working the two together. But all these other promoters, they need to find their niche. They need to find their own niche and just build where they are and stop wasting money trying to be the next UFC. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, you can't do it. You can't do it. I mean, UFC is enormous, and when we look at like some of the younger guys, some of the younger fighters that I work with, like I'll give you an example. We had on the show a couple weeks ago, Adam Dehart. He recently won in a dominant victory on Legacy on Access Sports and Access TV. Pat Miletich called it a mugging. I mean, this Adam Dehart is, I think, has got all of the, just to give you an example, here in South Carolina we have Tim Dudley, who is from the University of Nebraska right now. He went all the way to the finals at Madison Square Garden in amateur wrestling for NCAA Division I. And he was a runner-up. Now he's seeded first for next year. He wrestled the legendary David Taylor at the Midlands tournament. And a lot of folks felt he should have won that. It was kind of a BS stalling call that cost him the match, but that's neither here nor there. Tim Dudley is here in South Carolina, and he can get on the mat with Adam Dehart. Adam can hang with this. It can hang with this machine. So you're talking about a guy who I feel has the skills. Now, I'm working with Kamal Shalarus right now to get Adam Dehart signed and won fighting championships. We're talking with Matt Hume, and Matt Hume seems to have somewhat of a level of interest. And internationally, for guys, that's a place for them to go where they can make good money. I mean, Kamal's made more in one than he ever did in the Ultimate Fighting Championships in the UFC. So internationally, the stage is huge, and that's what I love about what you're saying. We're global proving grounds. You guys are going international. Or you've gone international.
Yeah, and we've already had events in multiple countries. The reason that we opened up our own fight club here outside of Philadelphia was we felt that with the, there's a major, if you don't know, the major change in Atlantic City is that half the casinos closed over the last couple of years. And with all those casinos closing, a lot less people go down to Atlantic City. So all the fight fans in the Philadelphia, New York, Delaware, Maryland area, that are looking to go on a regular basis, we opened up a fight club that's right near a train station near Philadelphia. It's only, 10 minutes from Philadelphia. It saves people money and time to go to a Atlantic City / Las Vegas style arena. It's a boutique, so it only holds like 700 to 1,000 maximum, but it's very high end, very high class, amazing lighting, sound, and experience. They have to break all that stuff there. And it's just a lot easier for people in this economy not having to travel an hour to 2 hours to Atlantic City with the parking, the turnpike, the tolls, and all that stuff. Will be a free parking, public transportation, and relatively inexpensive ticket.
And that's a great atmosphere to watch the fights. And then when South Carolina legalized MMA, the first two shows were at the Radisson, and it was a similar environment. It was a really nice ballroom. It was upscale. They had nice bars, set up on the side, and I really like that atmosphere. It's a great atmosphere. To watch a fight. You don't necessarily need to be in a giant arena. And you look at a lot of promotions that try to book, like when down here, when one of the promoters I won't mention by name tried to book the Colonial Life Center. Which is an enormous arena here in Columbia, South Carolina, and it was empty. I mean, it was literally empty. So that's a great venue to have. It's better to have a full venue, especially a relaxing environment to watch a fight, than it's kind of embarrassing to book a show in a large arena that's empty.
And we made that mistake once back in our first year.
when we were in Branson at the Hilton, we had about 2,000 people. It was wall to wall. It was awesome. Then we went over to Springfield College, and we were in the arena that held 7,000 people. We only had like 1,500. It looked like there was nobody there. Yeah. We never got to speak again.
Perception is everything, especially with you guys with doing TV. You want to have those seats full, and that's really the boxing mantra too. When you watch boxing on televised boxing, HBO, and so forth, a nice ballroom in a casino or a nice upscale hotel, that's a great place to watch the fight.
Absolutely. Well, we're excited. I mean, we worked really hard in the first 5 years, and we're going to be carrying the quarter. Really looking forward to, making even more changes now to keep increasing the quality of the TV production. So the fighters know when they come fight for us, we produce a really nice fighter feature video for them. We take special photos for them, and we treat them as if they are in the UFC. And it's important to us that they have a great experience.
That's awesome. Now, tomorrow, I'm going to be in Myrtle Beach, and I'm going to be going over to train at Fitness Edge MMA, and they've got a young lady out there that we're going to have on the show. The Cajun, Andy Nguyen, I don't know if I'm pronouncing her last name correctly. I apologize if I'm not, but she was coached by one of my good buddies here, Matt Perkle, out in Greenwood, South Carolina, and had an opportunity to meet her before, and going to have her on the show. Going to go out, train with her, going to go out and interview her in the cage out there at Main Event. And if you Google her, she is incredibly beautiful young lady as well. As a very talented young lady, kickboxer. Her wrestling, particularly defensive wrestling, has gotten really good. She's able to keep the fight on her feet, and she's currently King of the Cage women's champion. That leads me to another question. We've got a lot of really good fighters here in the Carolinas, James. Are you still looking to send, and that we've done in the past, some of our guys down here up to fight for your promotion?
Well, absolutely. We just added, it's funny, we just added our amateur license. After all these years, we decided to start doing amateur fights as well to develop our own talent. So July, we have an amateur card. July is the same setting that the pros get. So any amateurs that are listening, any amateurs from down your way that want to come up to the Jersey Shore for July, they can come up and be part of the amateur show. As many fighters who want to come up. Then our next pro show in Jersey will be in September. And, of course, any fighters down that way who want to come up are welcome to.
Yeah, that's awesome. We just had Justin Sumter. We just got him signed to fight in Bellator. As I mentioned, Adam Pilar just came off of a great victory in Legacy and on Axis, and I think Adam would be a great fighter. And the Cajun that I just mentioned, Andy, she's gone pro, a few fights ago. She's undefeated, I think, now as a pro.
Well, what's her weight? What's her weight?
She's a bantamweight, which would be the same as like a Misha Tate or that the UFC's main weight class.
Yeah, we have right now 4 or 5 ladies we're trying to match up. I think we have 115, a 125, and a 155 for September.
Okay, yeah. Well, I'll get with you offline on that. I can actually get you a list of some potential guys and gals. But I want to thank you for coming on the show. And before we go, I want to give you the opportunity to reinforce or mention anything you'd like to promote before we close the show.
We want all fighters to go on the Facebook or Twitter, go to Global Proving Ground. Go onto our Instagram, our Snapchat, or our website, globalprovingground.com. If you go to the website, fighters, you can actually register for free. Give us all your information. We'll be in our database. We'll get you into our amateur or pro card. You can contact us to your coach or your manager. And we have 6 more fights this year, and we'll have 12 next year. And we just did get our Virginia license, and we're looking to go to Virginia Beach. Hopefully in August, if we can find a venue. It's difficult to find a venue down there, but we now have our license in Virginia as well.
Awesome. Yeah, I lived in Virginia for years. I love it down there, especially Virginia Beach. The Resort and Convention Center might be a good potential location. That's great, and it's right on the water. I want to thank you for coming on, and I just want to mention, too, that I did come up with an invention when I hosted the casting call at Main Event for Warrior Island, and that was the beer can microphone, which you guys have seen in the video. Well, thank you, James. We really appreciate it, man. Have a great evening, and thanks for coming on the show. That was a pleasure. Good luck with the show. Thank you. Bye-bye. Take care. Let me tell you about American Grappler Wrestling and MMA Outfitters. American Grappler makes shirts that honor the American wrestling and combat sports tradition unlike any other brand on the market today. And I'm going to tell you a little personal story. American Grappler just did a tribute shirt to my coach, my mentor, one of my best friends, the legendary Billy Wicks, who just passed on. And all of the profits of this shirt are going to Billy Wicks' family. That's what kind of a brand this is. They are not just an advertiser on the King Sport. They are not just an advertiser on the Arena Sports Network. They have become family. And let me tell you something else about American Grappler. Their shirts are of the finest quality. I've been training in these shirts and wearing them proudly for years. Support American wrestling heritage. Go to AmericanGrappler.us today. You'll be happy you did.
Today's program is brought to you by Cleaver Supplements, the official presenting sponsor of Arena Sports Net. Our team is excited to provide you with an impeccable online shopping experience and remains available to assist at any time. We have natural supplements such as our Super Fat Burner, our Carnitine Stack, the famous Swole Serum for your workouts, and much more. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, do not hesitate to contact us via telephone or email, and one of our experienced team members will get back to you. Cleaver Supplements, pure supplements for when genetics are just not enough.
Hi, I'm Rick Briggs from the Asylum, and this is your Arena Sports Moment. After a 2-0 start, the New York Giants have dropped 2 straight, and there appears to be a few cracks in the New York offense. The loss of Rashard Jennings didn't help. Still, New York managed 78 rushing yards against a stout Minnesota defense. But the major factors are the frequent meltdowns by wide receiver Odell Beckham. Beckham is being played close and hard, and his temper is getting the better of him. For the second week in a row, Beckham is basically being called out by the Giants for his antics. Coach Ben McAdoo called Beckham a distraction after the Washington game, and after losing to the Vikings, Eli Manning said, quote, "He's got to play smarter." They are, of course, right. Beckham has to understand, after all his unsportsmanlike shenanigans on the field and on the sidelines, he is a marked man. They will continue to play him hard and close, and the officials will be keeping an eye on Beckham, not the defenders. If Odell wants to emerge as great, he needs to keep his cool, make plays, and help the team win, not worry about padding his own stats. I'm Rick Briggs, and this is your Arena Sports Moment.
Chicagoland Popcorn has over 250 flavors for you to choose from. Visit them at 5470 East Lincoln Highway in Maryville, Indiana, or give them a call at 219-940-1140. You can also visit them online at chicagolandpopcorn.com. Chicagoland Popcorn, open Monday through Saturday 10 to 8 and Sunday 10 to 6. Motown Mowing is based on the belief that our customers' needs are of the utmost importance. Our entire team is committed to meeting those needs. As a result, a high percentage of our business is from repeat customers and referrals. We would welcome the opportunity to earn your trust and deliver you the best service in the industry. We provide value-added service, rock-bottom prices, and extreme flexibility because we listen to our customers and continue to deliver. And for our senior citizens, we have great discounts available. Give us a call today at 219-307-0387 or visit us online at mowtownmowing.net. We are excited to be your lawn care provider.